Good evening and thank you so much for choosing us to inform you on this edition of TV47 News Tonight, this 15th day of December 2022. A day when a section of residents of Meru County have begun collecting signatures calling for the dissolution of the troubled devolved unit. You're just in time for the latest in the world of news, sports and business, including tonight. High Court grants the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission orders to freeze property of ex-Governor Mwangi Wairia's wife in a 542 million shillings probe. Also tonight, Law Society of Kenya rejects President William Ruto's law review proposals.
The Law Society calls upon the Speaker of the National Assembly to note that the proposed amendments are unconstitutional.
Lawyers say the proposals are a violation of the verdict on the BBI. Plus, court extends ban on importation of GMO foodstuffs until parties to the case make their submissions. And Senate Speaker Amason Kingi receives Governor Kawira Mwangaza's impeachment notice. All right, TV47 News Tonight begins right now. Welcome aboard. My name is Kenneth Kazungu. Catherine Simaloi will be handling the sign language interpretation. Now, the government has announced an import duty waiver on white maize and rice starting February next year in an effort to ensure adequate stocks. Now, this as the High Court extends orders barring the government from allowing genetically modified foods into the country. Andrin Kilemi begins our coverage tonight.
The High Court has extended the ban of genetically modified foods into the country, pending hearing of the matter on the 13th of February 2023. Justice Mugure Dhande extended the order barring the Ministry of Agriculture and Trade from allowing any GMO foods into the country until parties to the application highlight their submissions. Meanwhile, local millers and traders will from February next year import 1.5 million tons of corn and rice duty-free. The Secretary of Plant Development in the Ministry of Agriculture, Kielo Harsama, through a notice, said the waiver will be granted for millers and traders to import a total of 900,000 metric tons of white maize grain and 600,000 metric tons of milled rice from February to August 2023. This will enable the country to have adequate stocks to last until the next harvest from July to August 2023. The imported white maize is required to have moisture content not exceeding 13.5% aflatoxin levels. According to the PS, milled rice shall be grade 1, that is dried mature grains, clean, wholesome and safe for human consumption. Andrin Kilemi, TV47.
To the row now around constitutional review proposals, the Law Society of Kenya, LSK, has opposed the proposed constitutional changes fronted by President William Ruto. LSK President Eric Theuri termed the proposed law changes by the head of state as unconstitutional, insisting that any law review must follow the constitutional process. And as Mike Agwongo now tells us, President William Ruto, in a memorandum dated December 9th this year, proposed an amendment to the constitution enacted in 2010 addressed to the speakers of the bicameral parliament.
The proposed amendments to the constitution by President William Ruto have continued to receive mixed reactions amongst Kenyans and constitutional stakeholders. LSK President Eric Theuri says the Law Society of Kenya is astounded by the president's move, given that the amendments will affect the overall structure of parliament and the executive.
The Constitution is very clear on the means of amending the Constitution with Article 255, providing the matters that require a referendum, and any amendment not related to matters mentioned in Article 255(1) are to be enacted by Parliament or by popular initiative.
In a memorandum to Parliament dated 9th December 2022, President William Ruto proposed various amendments to the Constitution, including the creation of an office of the official leader of opposition, establishment of a formula that will guide the computation of the gender ratio in the National Assembly, entrenchment of various funds in the Constitution, including the National Government Constituency Development Fund, the Senate Oversight Fund, and the National Government Affirmative Action Fund, and the amendment to the Parliament Standing Orders to facilitate the participation of Cabinet Secretaries and Chief Administrative Secretaries in parliamentary proceedings. The President further proposed that these amendments should be pursued without taking the Kenyan electorate through a referendum.
It is noted that the amendments as proposed by the President fall under the scope that require a referendum. And if pursued by way of the President's proposition, then the sovereignty of the people of Kenya would be undermined.
The Law Society of Kenya, however, believes that Article 255 of the Constitution provides the matters that require a referendum and any amendment not related to the matters mentioned. LSK is now calling upon the Parliament to protect the Constitution and promote democratic governance of the country and the citizen of Kenya to rise up the occasion and safeguard the gains under the Constitution.
That part of the amendments that the President proposes to deal with relate to gender. We are all aware that the President has made appointments of principal secretaries that do not comply with the Constitution.
And should the lawmakers proceed to take up President William Ruto's initiatives, the Law Society of Kenya insists that they are obliged to challenge whatever process they undertake in the court of law.
Should Parliament proceed to take up this initiative, then the Law Society shall be challenging whatever process they undertake in court. And I want to say this, that we have a system of government that is largely presidential.
In his proposals, the President says it will help parliamentarians comply with the law instead of employing mischievous legalities and technicalities to deal with constitutional issues. Mike, GOtv 47, Nairobi.
Moving on, the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission, or the EACC, has been given the green light to freeze 2 properties belonging to Jane Waigwe Kimani, the wife to former Murang'a Governor Mwangi wa Iria. Further investigations revealed that Top Image Media Consultants, a company associated with Wairia, had been solely awarded media buying tenders worth more than 542 million Kenya shillings out of all companies pre-qualified between financial years 2013-2014 and 2016-2017.
The Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission, EACC, has obtained court order by the High Court of Kenya to freeze 2 properties valued at 15 million shillings belonging to the wife of former governor of Murang'a County, Mwangi wa Iria. The 2 properties are a plot block located at Umoja Inako valued at 7.5 million shillings and Moiga Dhungare Block 2, the Rangia parcel number 762, valued at 8.8 million shillings. The commission had also investigated allegations of procurement irregularities and conflict of interest among public officials in the county government of Murang'a. Investigations revealed that Top Image Media Consultants, a company associated with the then Governor Mwangi wa Iria, had been awarded media buying tenders worth 542 million shillings out of all companies pre-qualified between financial years 2013-2014 and 2016-2017. The commission also seeks to recover a deposit of 9.5 million shillings that had been paid to Mlima Kenya Holiday Homes to purchase holiday homes for the governor's wife Jane Waigwe Kimani and Jane Wanjiru Mbuthia, director of Top Media Image Consultants. The commission's investigations revealed that the director of Top Image Media Consultants transferred part of the funds to the governor himself and his wife Jane Waigwe Kimani. In addition, Value View Limited, a company belonging to the governor's wife, was also a direct recipient of the funds paid to Top Image Media Consultants. The commission also established that Top Image Media Consultants and its director also made payments for loans on behalf of the governor, as well as flight expenses and hotel accommodation costs. The company also made a payment of 500,000 shillings to the Mwangi Wairia Foundation, which is co-owned by the governor and his wife. Flora Limuki, TV 47.
To the change of guard at the IEBC now, and the three commissioners set for retirement come January next year, led by the commission's chairman, Wafula Chebukati, have stated that they will leave the electoral body with their heads held high, alluding that their tour of duty at the commission was successful after overseeing 2 general elections. Together with Commissioners Abdi Guliye and Boya Molu, the three were part of the team that took over in the year 2017 after the unceremonious exit of the Isaac Hassan-led team. TV47's Mwege William tells us more.
In a consultative meeting with election stakeholders during a post-election evaluation of the 2022 general election meeting held in Nairobi, Commissioner Abdi Guliye, representing IEBC chairperson Wafula Chebukati, was quick to remind the gathering of their forthcoming exit at the electoral body, but quick to mention of the achievements made during their 10-year stint at IEBC.
We are proud that we improved on what we found in the electoral management body of Kenya. We strengthened the use and deployment of technology in elections.
Wafula Chebukati, Abdi Guliye and Boya Molu are the only remaining commissioners of the 2017 team after the resignation of Roslina Kombe, then Vice Chairperson Connie Nkatha Maina, Commissioner Paul Kugat and Margaret Mochanya, following the push and back between the IEBC commissioners after the annulment of the 2017 presidential election, which afterwards the four were replaced by Commissioners Irene Masit, together with commissioners who recently resigned, led by Vice Chair Juliana Cherera, Commissioners Francis Wanderi and Justice Nyang'aya.
We are the first commissioners to finish their term or their tour of duty in office for a very long time. And it's something we are proud of.
With their exit days away, Guliye has called on the need to protect and assure safety of IEBC officials, stating that with each election held in the country poses a great danger to officials working in the commission, while challenging those who will take after their exit to better the management of elections in the country.
During elections, the commission staff are endangered species. I'm sure you know by now, we lost our colleague, just as we lost our other colleague in 2017.
Stakeholders have, however, called for an expeditious implementation of legal reforms needed so as to better corporate governance of the commission that will better manage and guide the next incoming commissioners who will take up running of the electoral body.
This new electoral cycle, Kenya must endeavor to finalize and complete all the laws that were intended to be completed as part of the implementation of the 2010 Constitution.
Electoral laws, we have to have a discussion about this. We cannot have election laws being amended in the year of election and even months to an election. We should agree that at least a year, that be the cutoff.
With the exit of the three retiring commissioners, there is worry power vacuum might arise, even as embattled Commissioner Irene Masit, who stood her ground of not resigning, is supposed to face a panel being led by Judge Agri Muchelule to look into her conduct, where together with Cherera, Wanderi and Nyang'aya, they oppose presidential results announced by Chebukati, terming them opaque. Mwege William, TV47, Nairobi.
After losing custody of his kids to a prominent businessman, saying he has been unable to see his children for the last 6 months. The family is now calling on Chief Justice Martha Koome to intervene on the matter after failed attempts to get justice on the matter. Here now is Collins Lusweti with more details on that story.
Flanked by religious leaders in the area, Nikesh Harji, the father of three, demanded explanation from the Director of Public Prosecution on why he is yet to receive back his children, with the religious leaders questioning the grounds on which the businessman was given custody of the children.
Mzazi mmoja akiaga, ule ambaye amebakia kisheria ndio anafaa kubaki na watoto. Sheria ya mwaka huu tulio nao 2022 namba 34A, sijui ni sheria gani ambayo jaji huyu wa Mombasa wa kule Tononoka Local alitumia, maana alinyima hawa watoto haki yao ya uzazi.
In July 2022, the Director of Public Prosecution ordered the arrest and prosecution of 7 suspects over the abduction of the 3 minors, with the father now wondering why he has continued to be denied justice on the matter.
Hiyo watu wote wenye kwa DPP hata leo ni wazazi. Hawa ndio wameuza watoto wangu, wamefinyilia file yetu ndio watu wasishikwe. There was an arrest order that was been released. Ile siku watu walienda kushikwa wakarudisha hiyo file tena kwa DPP. It's been almost 1 month and 15 days. Paka leo hiyo file haijawahi toka kutoka DPP. Wamekanyanga hiyo file we had an appointment today 15th. Waseme 15 mkikuja tutawapatia jibu. Tukaenda huko hakuna mtu ametoka kutoka ofisi ya DPP. No one has ever bothered to come outside. Now it is their job to help to sacrifice their lives and help the citizens. This is the letter.
He further states that he is capable of taking care of his own children, while calling on Chief Justice Martha Koome to intervene on the matter, alleging that the suspects could be bribing judges to continue cutting him off completely from his children.
Mudinaji, where are you? Uko wapi? Wewe ni Muislamu. You are a Muslim, my friend. No, dhulumu sisi hivi, my friend. No, my friend. Unajua, Mungu siku ile ataonyesha power zake, ni watu wote mtaona shida. You will have mysterious shida hizo haitaisha kwa maisha yenu. Hiyo honga nyenye mmekula nyinyi wote kwa hii.
The children, a girl aged 5 and twin boys aged 9, were taken away from him in April this year after his wife was reported to have died by suicide, indicating he has no idea whether the children are alive or not.
Sita watoto wangu sijaona. Watoto, my kids need my love. Sai mimi sije kama watoto wangu wako hai hata. I'm dying for my children. I'm not sleeping at night. Na watu wanakula pesa, wana enjoy life yao.
Collins Lusweti, TV47, Nairobi.
The Kenya Kwanza government will partner with the private sector in keeping its promise to provide employment opportunities for the millions of young people around the country who are currently unemployed. Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua says that the graduates of the National Youth Service will be employed to provide security for government offices.
I'm a graduate of NYS. We were there in 1985 at Gilgil for a basic training course.
Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua lauded the National Youth Service for imparting skills and discipline to their students, urging more employers to tap into the workforce. The second in command now saying the recruits might be considered in providing security and other essential services to government offices.
We encourage other employers to tap from the NYS. A combination of skills and discipline, you can't go wrong. You can't go wrong.
While acknowledging that a majority of Kenyan youth lack the skills needed for the job market, Gachagua reiterated that the government, through the State Department for Labor and Skills Development, will address the issue by engaging other stakeholders to ensure the youth have digital skills.
As a government, we are alive to the concerns raised on the skills gap out of the estimated 900,000 graduates entering the labor market every year. That is why President William Ruto established a State Department for Labor and Skills Development to work with other ministries, departments, and agencies, as well as the private sector, to address this concern. The government remains steadfast to invest in the digital technology as a sure path to a job creation agenda as promised.
I want to tell the young people of Kenya that you are a top priority for the Kenya Kwanza government. Top priority.
More than 1,000 youth thronged the Kenyatta International Convention Center on the first day of the job fair, where over 100 employers are expected to avail over 5,000 job and internship opportunities for skilled and semi-skilled individuals.
All the best as you.
Sylvia Nyongesa, TV47.
Let us now go all the way to Meru, where a section of residents in that county have begun collecting signatures calling for the dissolution of the county a day after the impeachment of Governor Kawira Mwangaza. And as Paul Kirobi now tells us, Senate Speaker Amason Kingi has received documents of the impeachment.
Set to be recalled to debate the allegations against embattled Meru Governor Kawira Mwangaza following her impeachment on Wednesday. Senate Speaker Amason Kingi has already received impeachment documents from the Meru County Assembly. The House will now have 10 days to consider the matter, either by an 11-member committee or the Senate in plenary, to either substantiate or dismiss the allegations.
This is to allow members who are not yet in the...
Meanwhile, a section of Meru residents have started collecting signatures seeking for the dissolution of the county.
Wapiga kura na wananchi ndio tunaumia kwa sababu hatupati maendeleo. Kwa hivyo hii ni initiative ya mwananchi, hakuna kiongozi yeyote ametusukuma ama ametusurutisha kukusanya signature.
Pia gavana wetu lazima tupatie cover letter kusupport hii signature zetu ambazo tumecorrect. Na tuko sure sababu gavana wetu ni mtu wa kusikiza, ni kiongozi wa kusikiza kila Meru. Sisi tuko hapa kama wa Meru, kama wakaaji wa Meru. Tutapeleka ombi letu na tuko na imani. Sababu gavana wetu ajuangi mrembo mgani ama mrego huu. Yule anamsupport au anamsupport as long as unatafuta kitu kisheria.
67 MCS approved Kawira's ouster, accusing her of nepotism, violation of the constitution and gross misconduct.
The governor is perpetrating herself. The governor is a party C by herself, doing things to be seen, to be corrupt for, not delivering anything. We have not seen any load being delivered, no investors that have arrived in Meru. In fact, investors are scared.
Tunawaomba waweze kuidhinisha yale ambayo wabunge wa kaunti ya Meru wameweza kupitisha. Ndiposa tuweze kumaliza sononeko na aibu katika kaunti ya Meru.
The county boss, however, says the move is political. Paul Kirobi, TV47.
Moving on, President William Ruto is calling on the United States to review its economic partnership with Africa, saying Africa must be regarded as an investment destination and not a trade destination market for manufactured goods. And as Stanley Nyaringita now tells us, the president is expected to address the summit on a peaceful and secure Africa.
Thank you very much.
While addressing the US-Africa Leaders Summit on the future of Africa's trade and investment relations in Washington, D.C., President William Ruto has reiterated that Kenya is open for partnership and business.
What I see as the opportunity that exists between the US and Africa is that while the US has huge capital potential, on the other hand, Africa, with 1.4 billion people, going to 2.5 billion people by 2050, combines the opportunity of capital and population.
At the same time, the head of state called on the US to review its economic partnership with Africa, noting that it will be a win-win situation for everyone.
Africa Continental Free Trade Area is necessary because today, intra-Africa trade is at 17%. It presents to us an opportunity because Asia, what can America do? The reason why intra-Africa trade is low is because of physical infrastructure and logistics.
After his 3 days in the US, the president, who was flanked by Prime CS Musalia Mudavadi, Foreign Affairs CS Alfred Mutua, Trade CS Moses Kuria, among other leaders, has managed to secure major commitments, including Visa's pledge to support the recently launched Hustler Fund in the country, as well as e-commerce growth. Startups in the country are also set to benefit from a commitment by Microsoft to support its digital technologies. In the bag of goodies as well entails a commitment by Google to establish a product development center in Kenya, together with the Rockefeller Foundation's pledge to make Kenya a clean energy destination.
He is a leader in this space, and we are showing part.
In a side event held at the Arizona University, President William Ruto invited multinational tech firms to pursue the emerging investment prospects in the country's Tattoo City project.
And say confidently that we're expanding the universal access to broadband, embarking on the digitization of public services, supporting our robust startup ecosystem, and enhancing access to digital credit and improve monetization.
African leaders have also been urged to bolster their own infrastructure, including schools and hospitals, instead of depending on the first world countries.
The president has also reiterated that his government is working on a restructuring plan that will make Kenya Airways turn it into a profitable venture. Stanley Nyeringita, TV 47.
To health matters now, and the Kenya Union of Clinical Officers wants the government to appoint a national joint task force on health that will help evaluate on some of the challenges in the health sectors, especially in the devolved units. And as Elizabeth Atieno now tells us, the union has decried deplorable state of healthcare, especially in public health facilities in the country, saying devolving the sector has worsened the situation, arguing that health should be a shared function.
Since 2013, Kenya embarked on a rapid process of devolution with the creation of 47 counties. The health sector was one of the services devolved, leaving the county governments with the burden of key management functions including planning, budgeting, financial management, human resources, and the provision of emergency medicines and medical supplies. Some counties have since posted an improvement in the provision of health services, while others appear to be struggling, begging the question on whether health should be a devolved service or a shared function. If the latest revelation by the Kenya Union of Clinical Officers is anything to go by, the country's health sector has been ailing for the last 10 years of devolution.
We got a very good Vision 2030, that was supposed to catapult this country, and especially the health sector, towards standards, where Kenya would be a medical tourism destination in Africa. But we don't seem to be focused towards that dream.
Former President Uhuru Kenyatta declared universal health coverage as one of the big four strategic pillars to ensure everyone has access to quality and affordable care. His successor, President William Ruto, has since maintained that he is keen on reforming NHIF by graduating contributions from individual to household. However, this is yet to be implemented, and now there are concerns that the current regime is not giving the health sector the priority it deserves.
We are wondering, and what also Kenyans are wondering, for the past 10 years, we have had a myriad of challenges in the health sector, yet there doesn't seem to be attention, the same kind of attention from the government. And we are saying this is where we go wrong as a country.
That for us to move forward, we need to get information from Kenyans on the best way possible on how we need to run the health sector.
Chronic delay in payment of salaries, delayed promotions, lack of comprehensive medical insurance cover, healthcare underfunding in reference to Abuja Declaration, which calls for the increment of health funding to 15% of the country's total budget. Uncoordinated emergency response and referral services across the country have been cited as some of the challenges facing health workers in the last 10 years, especially in counties.
As we stand here today, if you wanted an admission in some of our level 6, like Kenyatta University Hospital, you are going to be asked to deposit 200,000 for you to be admitted. Yet it's a government hospital.
The Kenya Union of Clinical Officers now says the appointment of a national joint workforce on health will be a game changer in undertaking and evaluation of health as a devolved function, with a view to recommending solutions that will heal the ailing health sector.
We ought to reflect back on the past decade of health devolution with the aim of converting the numerous challenges into opportunities to better and strengthen the health system toward achieving universal health coverage.
The union is now demanding for the absorption of all 9,000 UHC staff employed at the height of the COVID-19 pandemic under permanent and pensionable terms, further calling for the recruitment of 20,000 health workers across the country as promised by the Kenya Kwanza regime to help alleviate shortage of medical personnel. 10 years down the line, the Kenya Union of Clinical Officers maintains that Kenya's health sector, especially at the devolved units, is facing a myriad of challenges which needs urgent intervention from the current regime. Elizabeth Atieno, TV 47, from the Kenya Union of Clinical Officers headquarters, Nairobi.
Thank you, Elizabeth, for that. And it is at this particular point in time, we want to take a very short break. We'll be back with many more stories. You want to stick around for that.
Trisent School of Medical Health Science and Technology is a premier training institute for market-driven courses. With state-of-the-art facilities, competent and dedicated members of staff, and linkages with the medical industry, you are assured of a bright future when you study with us. Enroll today in our campuses at Juja, Nairobi West, Kisumu, and Homa Bay.
Kaluma King Herbal Lozenges zinazo nguvu maradufu kutuliza kikohozi, vidonda vya koo na mafua. Kaluma King ni shwari.
Chika mama huyo muharifu kaiba kuku zangu, vifaranga wangu na mayai zote pia kabeba. Haya, chika mama huyo.
Maumivu yakizidi, muone daktari.
Win big with TV47 and win Lotto. All you need to do is watch TV47 and send 50 shillings to the paybill number 328328. Account name TV47 to enter the draw. The more you play, the higher your chances of winning if you send 50 shillings to the paybill number 328328. Account name TV47. Win Lotto. Everyone's a winner. Remember, send 50 shillings to the paybill number 328328. Account name TV47 and win with TV47 and win Lotto. This has been authorized by the Betting Control and Licensing Board of Kenya. BCLB number 000885. Play responsibly, not for people under the age of 18.
The secret to an instant glow and spotless skin. Acne C10 is a 10% pure vitamin C serum that effectively fades dark spots and clears dark patches. With a unique formulation, it is quickly absorbed deep into the skin to give optimal results. Acne C10, 10% pure vitamin C serum, safe on all skin types.
Discover a world full of opportunities, a place to build your skill and see the world in a different perspective. Sensei Institute of Technology is the home to the best practical courses, giving you hands-on experience to handle the world. We offer courses such as plant operator, plant mechanics, driving and trailer driving, CCTV and alarm installation, solar installation, electrical installation, motor vehicle mechanics and electronics, building construction technology, welding fabrication, roads and dam construction, hospitality courses, and many more. For you to join us, ensure you have your national ID card and be ready to enjoy the ride.
Remember, my skill, my future at Sensei.
Sensei College, my skills, my future.
TV47, the home of untold stories.
Welcome back and thank you so much for staying with TV47 News Tonight. Nakuru County Executive Committee members of the CECs have been sworn in after months of court battles over the nomination to the cabinet. Here now is Chichi Josephine with that story.
Months after court battles over the Nakuru County CEC nominations to the cabinet, the executive members were finally sworn in today. This moment bringing a sigh of relief to Nakuru Governor Susan Kihika after MCA's approval.
I, Stephen Kuria Miruri.
I, John Karanja Kihagi.
Do swear that I shall always truly and diligently
serve the people and the Republic of Kenya.
In the office of the Executive Committee.
According to Kihika, the County Assembly had discharged its duty expeditiously as required, saying the approval was a sign of an arm of government willing to support a progressive county.
I've carried out your job very diligently,
with the approval process, and you have also expedited it, being aware and always not losing focus and knowing how much we need to get to work and deliver to those who elected us.
Kika further implored new executive members to go to the extra mile in the execution of their work and constantly engage citizens and leaders to improve service delivery.
I will not be expecting you all to have any interdepartmental wrangles, that I will expect you to maintain integrity, and I have zero tolerance for lack of integrity, and I don't want you to be too embroiled in bureaucracy. So I want you to focus on service delivery to the people and being servants of the people.
She revealed that her 100 days has officially begun, saying she will swiftly begin to conduct an audit on the public workforce to weed out ghost workers and improve the morale of the county workers.
It has been a bit overwhelming for the last almost 3.5 months, maybe, because we have not been able to move as fast as we would have wanted to.
We want to shame the devil, that the devil has got no room in our leadership in Nakuru County.
As I assure the governor, kwamba the policies that will be made from their departments, the various bills that will come to the assembly, we will look at them objectively with a view to kufanya hii county iendelee mbele.
Chichi Josephine, TV 47.
Elsewhere, and a police officer is among the 5 people arrested impersonating Kenya Revenue officers and staff in Narok County on Tuesday night. The officer, Davis Musundi Simiyu, who is said to be on suspension after various criminal acts and charges brought before him, was nabbed after complaints were raised by a number of business people and some KRA staff in Narok. This was after being suspected due to their conduct and behavior as they tried extorting money from a number of business entities on Tuesday night. Musundi, who is said to be currently facing 3 other separate cases of impersonation in Nakuru and Milimani law courts, was arrested by his former colleagues in Narok town while leading a gang that included Thomas Mwangi Kinyanjui, Lea Wanjiku, David Shege, and Anne Wagio Kamando. The team was claiming to be on routine tax compliance checks and accused the traders of failure to issue the electronic tax registers or ETR receipts and selling excisable goods with fake excise stamps. Confirming the arrest, Narok Central OCPD Fred Shiundu and his counterpart, the Narok Central Directorate of Criminal Investigations, Ruben Onjoka, say the team illegally issued fake seizure notices to intimidate the traders into paying them bribes.
Ameweza kupatikana na makosa, akachukuliwa hatua ya kinidhamu, amekuwa under interdiction, hata saa hii ako under suspension. So huyo ni mtu ambaye amepatikana na kesi za uhalifu aina mbalimbali.
Ruben Onjoka, DCI Narok Central. Actually, this is my office which is investigating the case. The case is still on. And we urge the members of the public, whenever they feel that the people approaching to their premises are suspicious, to report to our offices for action.
Elsewhere, Turkana Governor Jeremiah Lomorukai has been appointed as the Chief Administrator of the Kenya Red Cross in Turkana County. He will ensure that all activities and plans are successful for the people. In addition, Governor Lomorukai has promised to cooperate with the Red Cross organization and prioritizing with the issues of malnutrition. Red Cross Governor Geoffrey Korir has promised to work with the Turkana County government to curb disasters in the county.
Kenya Red Cross in Turkana County, we are in a very dire situation where the issues of climate change have affected the entire of this country to an extent where over 34.4% of our people, including the lactating mothers, including our children and the elderly, are malnourished.
Working in Turkana to emulate what Kenya Red Cross has done. It is good to have offices where you can be found.
We will support you, to give you moral support, to give you, support when developing the policy and also when developing that legislation so that we can have a disaster management act being enacted by your county.
Relief and other emergencies, so that we save the lives of our people, the lives of the people of Turkana County, the lives of the people of Kenya. That is the recognition I want to give to our dear president. I think today we are in a very dire situation where the issues of climate change have affected the entire of this country.
The governor said in the meeting, more than 2 million livestock have been lost in the last, I think, 8 months because of drought. So if somebody has lost all his livestock, it means that person cannot be able to pay school fees for his kids. So he needs scholarship or bursary.
All right, and at this particular point in time, we want to cross over and look at news making headlines in the world of business. Now, coffee farmers affiliated to the Embu County Coffee Mill and the Gakundu Cooperative Society are on the edge following reports that their properties are set to be auctioned over unpaid loans amounting to about 140 million Kenya shillings obtained from Commodities Fund. The government agency a week ago, through a public notice, declared the intention to liquidate several properties held as collateral for loans advanced to various clientele in a fortnight through either an auction or private treaty. Now, the county mill, which is made of 24 societies, obtained about 90 million shillings from the agency 8 years ago for the construction of a joint milling plant that has since stalled, while the Gakundu secured a loan of 50 million shillings on the same period to modernize its factories.
Na hewa imepandilika na kilo zilikuwa milioni 3, milioni 2 na nusu kwenda milioni 3, lakini imerudi chini mpaka 1700 yenye iwezi sustain madeni yenye society iko nayo.
Sasa nilisikia huyo gavana hakuendelea kulipa hiyo loan. Sasa nimesikia nataka kusikuliwa hiyo mashini, ni wenye pesa wale walipatia mashini ijengwe.
Nimeweza kupata appointment na Minister wa Agriculture ambaye anaitwa Linturi. Tutakuwa tunamuona on Thursday, tuangalie hiyo maneno. Kwa hivyo wasikue na hofu, waendelee kupeleka kahawa yao kwa hizo factories. Mimi mwenyewe nitachukua hiyo jukumu, nihakikishe nimeshikilia mambo hiyo na tumemalizana, tumeweza kutatua hiyo mambo.
Safaricom has announced a reduction in fees for paybill and business to customer tariffs in an attempt to ease in the financial difficulties customers are experiencing. Now, the new reduction will see bank to M-Pesa charges reduced by 61%. Fees associated with M-Pesa to bank transactions have been decreased by an average of 47% for customers. Transactions under 100 shillings will remain rated at 0. The reduced M-Pesa to bank tariff will also be applied to all M-Pesa paybill payments that customers make for utilities like electricity, hospital bills, school bills, and government payments. The new tariffs will go into effect on January 1st, 2023. Stakeholders in the tourism and hotel industry in the country say the sector has improved compared to previous years. The stakeholders say the beach area is already full of tourists, saying for the first time, Kenyan tourists in this country have toured the beach in large numbers. According to them, there may be a shortage of accommodation facilities in the beach areas, especially in Malindi, as they have already started to be filled. The stakeholders also promising to the safety of the tourists, saying that Kilifi County government has promised adequate security for tourists in the beach areas.
tuna matumaini makubwa sana kwamba tutapata idadi kubwa sana ya watalii wa nyumbani kuja hapa Malindi. Na dalili tayari inaonyesha, kwa mfano kama sisi kuanzia Jumamosi tumebakisha vyumba visivyozidi 4. Kwa hivyo na tunaona bookings zinaenda mpaka tarehe 28. Kuanzia 28 ndio nimeona zinapungua kidogo, kwa sababu kuna wale sasa wale wamekuja wanasherehekea Christmas mahali hapa, wanatoka hiyo tarehe 28 wanaenda kukula mwaka mpya na familia zao.
Tuna matarajio mengi, wageni sisi tuko na booking kiasi na tunatarajia hata zitaendelea kuongezeka vile tunaenda mpaka Christmas.
Let us now look at stories making headlines in the world of sports. Now, the Kenya Rugby Sevens earlier today received a major boost after betting firm SportPesa unveiled their 126 million shilling sponsorship deal stretching over 3 years. The betting company steps in at a time when the Kenya Rugby Union has been facing financial crisis, as Kenya Sevens national team players had gone 3 months without salaries and allowances before the government stepped in to facilitate their trip to Dubai for the HSBC Rugby Series. SportPesa will use 42 million shillings annually, setting aside 20 million in bonuses for players and technical bench annually. Speaking during the unveiling event, Shujaa head coach Damian McGrath echoed the efforts displayed by SportPesa.
I've been in Kenya for 6 months, but it feels like 6 years. These last few months have been very difficult. I didn't think I'd spend more time fundraising than I did coaching, but it's been a sign of the times. We're very thankful that SportPesa have come on board and grateful for their support. But the expectation is that we'll now get our salaries paid on time, and we can focus on the rugby, and also that we can be given the resources and facilities and development tools that allow us to compete on an equal footing with our World Series rivals.
And moving forward, I want to assure especially the players, please let's play. I know usually we have these issues whereby maybe the allowances are not paid on time, and it is not the officials of the Kenya Rugby Union that are at fault. What I want to assure you now that SportPesa is on board and we are partners. We will make sure that player welfare is very well taken care of.
Also, in Kenyan boxer Sarah Achieng is set to defend her Commonwealth Super Lightweight title as she prepares to slug it off against Zimbabwean Chiedza Homakoma at the Nairobi Charter Hall on Friday night. Achieng has been relishing her skill at the Kariobangi Social Hall for the last 3 months, and she has warned Homakoma to expect nothing but a knockout. Another mouth-watering fight that will be witnessed will pit Kenya's Consolata Musanga against Ugandan Salimat Tibesingwa.
We have done everything that we know. My coach has tried to do some survey on her, and that is what we have been working upon. So coming tomorrow, we are prepared, and we know by God's grace we will retain this belt.
Mimi nachiamini ni ile kitu nakitoa kutoka ndani ya moyo. Ringi ndio itaamua. Si ametrain na mimi nimetrain. Sijatolewa kwa kitanda mimi. Nilikuwa na train.
I'm ready for this fight. The best boxer is going to carry the day. I'm going to do my best. I'm not here for vacation. I'm here for business.
Wish the ladies there all the very best. KCB Football Club will look to bounce back to winning ways when they face Bidco United in the 5th round of the 2022-2023 FKF Premier League. Now this coming weekend at the Thika Stadium. KCB has recorded 6 points in 4 matches that they have played this season, results which have foresaw it sit 5th on the log as they prepare to face tough test against Bidco. Speaking during their training, KCB assistant coach Godfrey Oduor said his lads are gunning for nothing but maximum points.
here. That's why I'm here.
Yeah.
But I'm an artist.
For us tumelearn kwanza makosa yetu against Nzoia na sasa tuna work towards Bidco. Nzoia ishaisha. Sasa tuna focus against Bidco na najua itakuwa outcome